Hello everyone, today we're learning from Mציעא, Daf Hayomi. We're going to start from Samech base, a few lines up, 3 lines up. Toner Rabbanon. Es kasbecho lo yisisen lo beneshech. Says in the pasuk, and it continues, B'marbis lo titen ochlecho. Eini elo neshech bekesef. So it says in the pasuk that biting, the loshen neshech is by money, by cash. Ribis boichel, and the lotion of making more, giving a little bit and getting more back, is by food. How do you know that you oiva neshech boichel mina? And how do you know that the neshech also applies for food? Talmud Lomer, it says in the pasuk, in a different pasuk, neshech oichel. Clearly, it says also the word neshech by oichel. Ribis bekesef mina. And how do we know that the issa of taking more of ribis is also applies by money? Talmud Lomer neshech kesef. It says another pasuk neshech kesef, and we know already from the first pasuk. Im eini le neshech kesef. Why not shari kvar nerma? Because it says already lo yisashich lo chicho. So why did it say it twice? Now eini le ribis kesef. It must come to tell you that by kesef you also over on ribis. Eini elo beloive. All this we know that the loiva is over the issa. The malve minayin. How do we know that the malve is also over the issa? Nema neshech beloive. It says by the loiva the word neshech. Nema neshech bemalve, by the malve lending the money. It also says the word neshech. Ma neshech ha'omer baloiva. Like neshech that says by the loiva, as we learned, lo yichilakto. There's no difference. Boy, bein bekesef, bein boichel, by cash or by food, bein beneshech, bein meribis. That everything neshech and ribis applies also for food and also for cash. Af neshech ha'omer bemalve lo yitach loik. Boy, there's no difference. Boy. Bein kesef, bein boichel, bein beneshech beribis, that bein by money, bein by food, there's neshech and tarbis. Minayin rabbis kol dova. How do you know that not only food and cash you over ribis? If I lend someone something that's not food, I lend him an item, a bicycle, and I want 2 bicycles back, how do I know that it's also ribis? Tamuloiva neshech kol dova asher ishach. Anything that bites. Therefore, anything that you lend and you get more back is a problem. Ravina Omar, loy neshech boichel, veloy ribis bekesef tzrich yikro. We don't need to tell you a special limud that there is neshech and tarbis that they apply also by kesef and also by oichel. Why? The ksives kasbecho lo yisisen loy beneshech vochlecho bemarbis, or the backskers vochlecho lo yisisen bemarbis kedeka omris. Then we'd need, like what the Brisa says, that you'd need to learn one from each other, from the extra psukim, etc. Because the Torah wrote, and next to that it continues, this is how you should read it. So therefore we put the neshech marbis, both of them on kesef, and then we read again, so we could put neshech and tarbis on oichel and neshech and tarbis on kesef from the way the Torah wrote the pasuk. Correct the Gemara about Tana Nema Kama, but in the Brisa it says Nema this and Nema that. It doesn't say that we learn it the way Ravina is learning. So the Gemara Ochi Kama, this was pshat in the Brisa. Iluloi Nema Kra. If it wouldn't have the pasuk like it's written, I'd still in the same din. I'd still in the Gzerashova of neshech. But now that we have a pasuk, Gzerashova lo tzorich, you don't need to learn it from the Gzerashova, you just learn it from the way the pasuk is written. Said the Gemara like Gzerashova lami. Why do we need the Gzerashova if we can learn it from the way its pasuk's written? Said the Gemara leneshech kol dova sheishach deloi kosi b'malve. By the malve it doesn't say that is oiva isa by only, it says only about food and money. It doesn't say about anything. That's only written by the loiva. So for that we need the Gzerashova to tell you that the same din of the loiva and the same that there is oiva, if he takes a loan of anything, it doesn't matter if it's not food or no money, is still oiva. So also the malva is oiva if he lends out something that's not food and no money and he gives it berivis. Omarova. So the Torah tells you that if you lend out money beribis, you oiva alav. If you steal, you oiva lav, and if you sell something to a higher price than the market value, you oiva lav. Why do we need that all these 3 things? we can learn it all from each other. They're all the same idea. He's stealing from someone. Says the Gemara Tzrichi. Says Rav Tzrichi. If you would say only beribis, I couldn't learn gezel and no mishum de chidushu, because the ribis is a special chidush. That filu beloiva osher rachmona. That the Torah by ribis, not only the malva is oiva, also the loiva is oiva. So it's a special chiddush. I won't learn about gezel, because gezel what the nigza will also be oiva, for sure not. So you can't learn it to there, not or not. If the Torah would only write lav begezel, mishum de bal kochi, because he does it by force. Avolo no, emaloi. It's nothing's forced here. Reuben sold to Shimon an item at an expensive price. Shimon agreed to the sale, so he's not over lav. That's why we need to tell you by no. If it would only written by no, that it's also mishum de lo yoda de mochil, because he doesn't know that he's paying a higher price. But by ribis that he knows that he's paying extra, maybe it's mutter. Says the Gemara, we can't learn one from each other. Let's learn one from two of them. Says the Gemara, which one should we learn? Let's not write ribis, and let's learn it from Oino and from Gezel. Says the Gemara, no, you can't. By Oino and by Gezel, the guy who's getting sold a high price or got stolen from, he doesn't know about it, he doesn't agree with it, but by ribis that he knows and he agrees about it, maybe it's mutter. So you can't learn ribis from those two. So the Gemara, don't write boino, and we'll learn from Gezel and from ribis. So the Gemara, maybe those ones because he stole it, or because it's alva, but here it's a business deal. He agreed to the business deal. What do you want from me? Why should I not allowed to be sell it to him for expensive? That's why the Torah has to specifically tell you that you know you're over Esa. So the Gemara, I'll tell you where you can learn it. It shouldn't tell you that you're not allowed to steal. And we learn from Oino and from Oino and ribis. The my parchis. What are you gonna ask? Mal ribis shekin chiddush. A ribis is a special chiddush at the loiva is over. Oino techiach will prove you from Oino that they're the one who got cheated. That is not over. Mal Oino shekin lo yoda u'mochil, and that's why over mashenkin gezel. It's not like that. Ribis techiach also ribis techiach that he knows and he's moichel and afilu ochil it's also. That's always a Gemara. It says this when you're trying to learn one thing from two things, and it says the chumrah by you want to learn A from B and C. So the chumrah of B is not like the chumrah of C, and the chumrah of C is not like the chumrah of B. So it can't be that that's the reason why it's forbidden. What is the similar between B and C in our case, Oino and ribis? Shekem goislo that you're stealing from him. I'll bring gezel. And why did the Torah need to tell you a special pasuk by gezel? So the Gemara Amri Ochinami, in Ochinami the Torah did not need to tell you a special pasuk by gezel. Elo la begezel lomali. Why did the Torah tell you a special pasuk by gezel? Lekoivesh schar schir. Someone who doesn't pay wages on time, that is over the issa of lo sigzol. So the Gemara koivesh schar schir be'edik si beitzim for a pasuk. Why do you need to learn it from lo sigzol? Because it says lo sasoik schir oni ve'evion. Don't not pay payment to a poor man and a poor and an evion types of poor people. You have to pay them. You can't keep it by you. So why do we need to learn from the sigzol? So the Gemara lavo b'shnei lavim. The Torah is telling you two lavim. They over also when you don't pay. You also over lo sasoik and you also over lo sigzol. Says the Gemara, "V'look me beribis voino v'lavo lo b'shnei lavim." You have lo sigzol is extra. Why are you putting it for lasik schar schir? Let's say that's coming to tell you for ribis to over b'shnei lavim, or for voino over b'shnei lavim. Why are you putting it specially over there? So the Gemara dover alom minyono. We learn it from the subject. So the Gemara samech aleph omud beis u'minyono the schir ksiv, and by schir it says the pasuk of lav de gezel says Rashi lo sasoik v'lo sigzol. Because in the pasuk of not paying, it says also the issa of lo sigzol, and we don't need lo sigzol for itself. So you know what you need lo sigzol for? It says the other thing in the pasuk to tell you that now you're over twice, and it makes more sense to put it on something that's we're talking about it anyway in the pasuk. Said the Gemara, okay, so now we know why the Torah told you Loisigzo to tell you that you're over two lavim by Oishek Schar Schir. The question is, why did the Torah also have to tell you that you're not allowed to steal? Loisigzo is not allowed to rob, but not allowed to steal the from Ribis and Oino. So the Gemara, like the Tanya, as we learned in the Brisa, Loisignoiv, Amenas Lemein Kat, that you're not allowed to, if I want to steal from someone something as a joke just to get them upset, you're not allowed to do that. I want to give someone a present and I know you won't accept it from me, so I have a plan. I'll steal from him, he'll take me to Bezdin, and then I'll pay him double and I'll give him my present. So even if you're doing it for good intention, it's forbidden, and that's why the Torah tells you extra issa of loisignov, even though the pashtus of loisignov you can learn from Ribis and Oino, but this extra thing that's a joke and to pay careful, you can't learn that, so that's why the Torah wrote it specifically. It says in the Torah that you're not allowed to have a weight, to make a weight that's the wrong weight, like a kilo, and have only half a kilo, and then when you sell a kilo, you're giving less or make it bigger. Why do you need it? Together. It's told by a case who puts his weight in salt and he makes the weight heavier. It's really 1 kilo, but now because it's in salt, it has a heavier weight. It's a kilo 20. And then when I'm buying something, I use it. And then instead of getting a kilo, I get a kilo 20. So for that, you need it. Something more on that obvious question. Ainu gezel ma'alia. That's proper stealing. I'm paying for 1 kilo and I'm receiving a kilo 20, kilo 0.2. I'm stealing that 0.2. That's proper gezel. Why do you need a special law for that? So the Gemara, Ainu gezel ma'aliu. So the Gemara, la'avolov mishas asiyah. If I make such a weight that's not the right weight, not only, even if I didn't use it, I'm over Issa. Just for creating something that you could cheat with, I'm over Issa. Even if I never cheated with it already, I'm over Alav. And that's a Chiddush. Torah Rabbanon, we learned in the Brisa, Lo Yisasu Oval B'Mishpot, you shouldn't cheat B'mido, B'mishkol, B'meshura. Says the Brisa, B'mido, the Mido Deskarka. Meaning, Shelo Imdoid Le'echad B'moisacham or Le'echad B'moisachshomim. Rashi explains that you have two brothers who are coming to split the Yerusha, and comes the guy who's measuring it, and he has a rope of 10 meters a rope, and he measures, for one, he measures up in the winter, and one he measures in the summer. You're not allowed to do that, and the reason is because in the summer, the rope is dry, so it doesn't stretch, so it's less of a measurement from the winter when the rope is wet and it stretches much more. The guy you measured in the winter will get more land, so you're not allowed to do that. B'mishkol means shelo yatmin mishkanoisav b'melach, as we learned before, to make them heavier when you're buying stuff. B'meshura shelo yartiach. And a meshura is a very small measurement, and it means if you give a very small measurement, you shouldn't make it have foam. When you pour the wine, you could put foam, and then you say, oh look, it's until the top, or really the foam is until the top, or really there's no liquid till the top, so that's forbidden. So the Brisa valod dvarim kal v'choyma ma meshura. One meshura, that's a small measurement. She echad mishloishim beloy gikpid of Torah. The Torah said you shouldn't cheat in such a small measurement. Kal v'choyma, they shouldn't cheat in lahin v'chetzayin v'shlishisayin v'revisayin v'loik v'chetzeloik v'revisaloik. Then bigger measurements, for sure you shouldn't cheat. If I can't cheat in 10, if I'm selling you 10 milliliters, for sure when I'm selling you a liter, I shouldn't cheat on that. Omar Rava, Lama li dekosar rachmona yitzias mitzrayim beribis, yitzias mitzrayim ga betzitzis, yitzias mitzrayim b'mishkolos. In these three things, in the issa of ribis, and in the mitzvah of tzitzis, and in the thing of issa of mishkolos, it says in the pasuk, Ani Hashem Elokeichem u'mitziechem eretz Mitzrayim. What's the connection to these yisurim? Omar Kadosh Baruch Hu. Ani hu sheivchanti mitzrayim ben tipo lebechor letipo she'eino bechor. When I killed the bechoros, how did I know who's a bechora and who's not? Some people had forbidden relationships, and the kid could have been the third kid from the mother, but the father who she did averu with was a bechora and he would still die. How did Hashem know? Because Hashem could see these things. So Hashem could see everything. So I'm going to pay off. Someone has money and he wants to lend it out beribis. He says, oh, this money I was given it from a goy to lend it out, but really belongs to him. And it's forbidden, but if it was a goy, it was allowed. So no one knows that he's lying, but Hashem knows. That's why Hashem in ribis tells it says the Yitzias Mitzrayim to remind you, Hashem knows these things. Like you know about Bechuris, he also knows if you're cheating and he's saying that it really belongs to Goy if it doesn't. No one knows that he put his weights into salt and made them heavier, but Hashem knows. Someone who put, instead of tcheles is very expensive. Nowadays, for chutim of tcheles, normally chutim you pay about 30 shekel. If you want to get chutim of tcheles in the normal shop, it costs about 240 shekel because it's a very rare thing. So someone who takes fake tcheles and paints his tzitzis with, and he says, oh, this is tcheles, so no one can tell the difference, but Hashem knows the difference, and he can get punished because he's trying to make believe as if he's wearing tcheles, and really he's not. Once I asked the Litvisher, why doesn't he try on my tcheles tzitzis? At least maybe they are tcheles, and he'll be yoytze tzitzis at least once in his life, the way the Raisa Yimechuyev. So he told me this Gemara, that the Gemara says that, you wearing tzitzis and you're making up, and we don't really know that this is a real tcheles from the Gemara's time. So I told him, I don't really think. I think here it's talking about when a guy knows it's not tcheles, he's taking kol ilon, paint from the plant that he knows for sure it's not tcheles, and he's putting on his tzitzis and he says this is tcheles, he's cheating. But someone like me who's trying his best, this lichora lefi the shittis, it looks like the most tcheles. So it makes sense. I want to try to be yoyte tzitzis. I'm not saying this is for sure tcheles, but as far as we know, this is most mistabet tcheles. I'm trying to be yoyte the mitzvah. I think the big chilik, and there's no connection whatsoever. And we should all be zoicha to wear real tzitzis with tcheles. Tzedek Gemara Ravina, Ikla Lesura de Pras. He came to Surah on the river Pras. Omale Rab Chanina Mesura de Pras Ravina. Yitzias Mitzrayim de Koser Rachmona Gabe Shrotzim Lomali. Why did the Torah write in the Issa to eat Shrotzim that Hashem took us out of Mitzrayim? What's the connection? Omale, Omar Kodesh Baruch Hu. Ani Shuv Chantim and Tipasha Bechol Tipasha Leinu Bechor. Aryeh in Mitzrayim knew who to kill, who's Bechor and who's not. Ani Osibli Parami Misha Ma'areb Karvid Dogim Tmeim Bekarvid Dogim Toir Moichum Yisrael. Like I knew over there who's a Bechor and who's not, I'm also going to punish someone who sells the inner pieces of the fish that you can't tell if they're from a kosher fish or not kosher fish, and he mixes them up with kosher insides of the kosher fish, and he says this is all kosher, and a guy buys it. He can't see the skins and scales because it's inside, fins and scales because it's inside, and he buys it and he thinks it's kosher and he's really eating treifus. So Hashem's going to pay him off and punish him. I wasn't asking you why it says the Indian of Mitzias Mitzrayim. That I understand, like what you said. But I was asking why over here the Torah used a different lashon. Amale, don't say Asher Itzeisius Echem. It says Amale Oischem Eretz Mitzrayim. Ma'ishno Hocha. Why over here Amale the Koser Rachmana? Why did the Torah use a lashon Amale different? And Ki Ani Hashem Amale Eschem Eretz Mitzrayim Loislochem Lo'Elohim. Why did it change? It's coming to tell you the din like we learned in the Bryce of Rabbi Shmuel. The Tana de Rabbi Shmuel, Oma Kodesh Baruch Hu Ilmolei Ileisis Yisrael Mitzrayim Ela Bishvil Dover Veh. If I take out the Jews from Mitzrayim only for their thing that they don't eat shkotzim. B'shrotzim, shein metamim b'shrotzim dai. Good enough for me was good enough, even if they wouldn't keep anything else. If they'd only keep this, it was worth taking them out of Mitzrayim. Omalei umi nofish agrayu. Do you get more schar for keeping shrotzim, not eating shrotzim? Tfei meribis, more than someone doesn't lend money beribis or mitzitzis or mishkoilis from these other things. What is the biggest schar for shrotzim from these other yisurim? Omalei afal gavdelo nofish agrayu. Even though that maybe you don't get more schar. It's very most, it's mitamtem es halev when you eat shrotzim, and that's why Hashem said, I'm very happy even just for shrotzim to take them out of Mitzrayim, and that's why he uses the lashon amale, that by going out of Mitzrayim and the Jews don't eat shrotzim, they go up in darga, they like aliyah, because the heart is not metumtum. Beideu tarbis, we learned in the Mishnah, Beideu tarbis, amar beveperios, Kate said, lokach imenu chitim b'din hazav akar. Said the Gemara, Otu Kolani de Amrina Nadashta, the beginning of the Mishnah where someone lent 4 for 5 or 2 saw for 3 saw, lav ribisu. It's not considered ribis. Why are you saying this is ribis? Well, before it's not ribis. Amar Ravo, what we explained already in the Mishnah. Adkan shel Torah. The beginning of the Mishnah, when Reuben gave money 4 for 5 or 2 same for 3 same, it's also min Torah. Mikan ba'elach, the last case of the Mishnah, shel divrei is only also divrei Chazal. V'chein Amar Rava also explained the same way in the Mishnah. Adkan shel Torah, the ratio of the Mishnah is midoraisa. Mikan ba'elach, the last case of the Mishnah is shel divrei is derabanan. Adkan yochin rosha v'ilbash tzadik. Says Rava that the first case of the Mishnah where it's ribas deraisa, we could call on it yochin rosha v'ilbash tzadik, meaning that a rosha, a father, took ribis, and now he died, and his kids were tzaddikim or yorishim, and they could keep the money of ribis, and they don't have to give it back from the person who took the ribis. So the one who enjoyed this ribis at the end was the son who's a tzaddik. So on the beginning of the pasuk, we say that the kid could keep the money. Says the Gemara, ad kan v'tuloi. If already by the Raisa Dikaribis the son could keep the money, kol shekin and kol shekin that by the Rabbanon Dikaribis the son could keep the money and he doesn't have to give it back. So what are you saying, ad kan? Elo, says the Gemara, afilu ad kan yochin rosha v'ilbash tzadik. Even in the ratio of the Mishnah, not only, even in the ratio of the Mishnah where it's ribis the Raisa, the son who his father took ribis, the son does not have to give the ribis back. Adkan ribis ktsutza. The beginning, again, we're saying it's a difference between the ratio and the sefer. Until here, it's ribis ktsutza. It's fixed ribis. Take 4 and give me 5. It's fixed. He has to give 1 extra. Take 2 saw and give me 1 more. Give me 3 back. Mikan va'elach. The last case of the Mishnah, avak ribis. It's only ribis the Rabbanon. Amar Rabbi Elazar, ribis ktsutza yoytze b'dayonim. If Reuven lent Shimon £100 and Shimon has to pay him back 110 and Shimon paid back 110, so Shimon could go to Bezdin and claim from Reuven to get back the £10 that he gave extra when it was fixed ribis. So you could take it, you could go to Bezdin and get the money back, avak ribis. If you only did the Rabbanon dik ribis, you can't come to Bezdin and sue it. Rabbi Yochanan Omar, filu ribis ktsutza, even fixed ribis, that's ribis deraisa, nami eino yoytze b'dayonim, you can't force it to get it back in Bezdin. Amar Rabbi Yitzchok, my time with Rabbi Yochanan, what's the source of Rabbi Yochanan to say that ribis ktsutza you can't force to get back the money in Bezdin? The Amar Kro, it says in the pasuk, B'neshech nosan, it's a pasuk in Yecheskel. B'neshech nosan, v'tarbis lokach, v'chai lo yichye, and he won't live. Es kol ha'teivos ha'elo, also he did all these toevos, lemisa nitzon, it's given to be killed for, and not to pay back. Someone who takes ribis get killed, but not to pay back. Rav Adabar Ava Omar, a different source for this thing. Omar Kro al tikach mi'itui neshech v'tarbis v'reisim v'lekecho. You have to fear God. The Muranitan, it's given to be fearful from God, not to pay back. The Torah says that the whole din is to be fearful for God and not to do it, but there's no din of shovin. We can learn it from the actual pasuk. It says, "Mois yumas dom of boy." Yeah, ukshu we makish. We put together malve ribis, someone who lends ribis l'shoif chedomim to someone who kills. Mashoif chedomim lo nitzan l'shovel. Once someone killed someone, you can't give it back. The person's dead. Af malve ribis, also someone who lends money in ribis. You can't give the money back, and that's it. Once the Aver is done, you can't force him in Bezdin to get the money back. Today is Yud Beis days to the Oima, that's 1 week and 7 days, and 5 days to the Oima, and we should all be blessed. Shkoyach.